There is a storm brewing at Richard Childress Racing because silly season continues to ramp up. Yes, there was a door shut with the number 21 with Jesse Love taking over Josh Berry's car, Connor Zillage taking over the number 48 in 2028. But what if I told you that there are more pressing matters in the sport, and there's actually more pressing matters at Richard Childress Racing because the 2027 season is heating up. Now, it looked like Austin Hill was going to be a guaranteed lock to take that number 33 ride over permanently after the late passing of Kyle Busch. Austin Dillon, he appeared on the Gluckcast last week, heaped praise on Hill. Hill's been the guy at RCR for quite some time. Well, Jordan Bianchi, he discussed the 2027 silly season in reaction to the Connor Zillage going into the number 48 in 2028 news. And in that discussion, he reported something that was quite interesting, something I was unaware of, and I think a lot of people were unaware of, that currently RCR and Austin Hill are at an impasse in negotiations. And that certainly raises eyebrows within the NASCAR world because it seemed like such a literal lock. Now, Hill obviously stepped in to what was the number 8 car ran by Kyle Busch. And Bianchi said that there are no guarantees that Hill will remain in the number 33 after the end of 2026. He said Austin Hill stepped in, obviously, when Kyle Busch tragically passed earlier this year. And he's done a pretty good job at balancing both the O'Reilly Series and the Cup Series, having to run full schedules in both. That said, though, there is still a lot of uncertainty about whether or not he will be in the car come 2027. Talks are ongoing between Hill and RCR, he said, about keeping Hill in that car. But there's no guarantees where he will remain in that car. Now, he continued by stating, right now, talks are at an impasse, I've been told. Both sides would like to get a deal done, but they haven't reached a deal yet. Now, Bianchi continued that Hill does not. Basically, he was saying, look, if Austin Hill doesn't end up in the number 33 in 2027, keep an eye out on Josh Berry. Now, Josh Berry is getting hot at the right time. He's finished in the top 10 the last 3 races, and he's searching for a seat next season after it was announced this past June he would not be coming back to the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford in 2027. Instead, ironically, Jesse Love, who runs in the O'Reilly Series for RCR, who was the 2025 champion, is going to be taking over that. So he's jumping from a Chevy to a Ford. He's jumping ship from RCR to Wood Brothers, which is an alliance with Team Penske. And Bianchi said, and so what happens if Austin Hill doesn't end up in the 33? That's a question without an answer right now. I do know, though, that Josh Berry is out there, and Josh Berry would be interesting and an intriguing option for Richard Childress Racing should they go in a different direction. He continued, Berry, as we know, has won at the Cup Series level and looks at his recent success. He's strung along some top 10 finishes. He's capable of running up in a consistent basis in the Cup Series. Hold the phone. Read that line again. He's capable of running up front on a consistent basis in the Cup Series, end quote. On what freaking planet? No, he's not. I don't care about his last 3 races. That's a very, very small sample size compared to how many years he's been in the Cup Series, right? He's been with the Wood Brothers for the last 2 years, 3 years. I strongly disagree with that quote. But anyway, he continues, as things stand right now, Austin Hill is considered the leading candidate to drive the number 33 car in 2027. Interesting. Now, while Austin Hill is still the leading candidate, something just feels right about Josh Berry and RCR. But that doesn't always work out the case in NASCAR, okay? If you look at Josh Berry, he has 5 top 10 finishes this season. Last year, he won at Las Vegas. Does he show talent? Yes. Does Austin Hill show talent? Yes. Here's the knock I have on Austin Hill. And I want to straight up be upfront with you guys. I expect Austin Hill to be in the number 33 car in 2027. They may not have a deal locked in right now, but they have groomed this kid for many, many years. He's been in RCR and in the O'Reilly series for the last several years. That's the guy they want. That's the guy they picture in the Cup Series for them. They always have. It always came down to, number one, experience, but two, at the time, for the last few years, you had Austin Dillon in the 3, and for whatever reason, he won't get out of that car, and you had Kyle Busch. Obviously, there was nowhere else for you to go. Could you have run an open car? They did that occasionally, but they weren't going to go out and buy a third charter. RCR just was not going to do that. So that's why he was kind of stuck in the O'Reilly series. Austin Hill's a very good race car driver, but I also think he's not Cup Series material. I think if you look at prominently his O'Reilly series runs, he's pretty consistent on most tracks. But what his bread and butter is super speedways. That's where he shines the most. I've said that Austin Hill is the SVG version on super speedways. Like, that's the guy you want in your car on a super speedway. And I actually think that Josh Berry going to the O'Reilly series in RCR equipment is the move to do. I don't see him going to RCR and out negotiating Austin Hill, but I did say when the Jesse Love news came down, if I'm RCR, I'm losing Austin Hill in the O'Reilly series, I'm losing Jesse Love in the O'Reilly series, I'm going to get Josh Berry. He's a proven guy who brings sponsorship, who's going to be able to go out there, compete for wins, and compete for championships for you. And regardless of what you think of RCR's Cup equipment, their O'Reilly's equipment has been steady for 20 plus years. And so if you look at it from that vantage point, and if Josh Berry, who has said that he's had talks with other teams, and one team quoted him that he needed to bring $3 million in sponsorship to go Cup racing next year, I think you should be open to RCR, regardless if it's Cup or O'Reilly's equipment. Quick pick stop here. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Also, consider joining our members section where we give out a bunch of additional content.